Bienvenue mes amis, and it's time for yet another adventure in the French language. And today, I want to introduce you to a new irregular verb. Remember that irregular verbs are verbs that have no pattern of endings. So I can't say to you, you take off this part of the infinitive and then you add these endings. It doesn't work like that with irregular verbs. They're called irregular because they don't have a set pattern and you just have to memorize the forms. We've had one irregular verb before this one, and that was the verb avoir, which meant to have. And remember, those conjugations were j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont. As you can see, there's no pattern there. And so we had to memorize those forms individually, and we'll do the same thing with this verb. But this verb is a very important verb. It is the verb être. Notice we pronounce that être. It is one syllable word. All right. It ends with the R sound. We don't say être. We say être. And être means, sorry for my typing there. To be. It is the verb to be. And in English, our verb to be is also an irregular verb. Because if it were regular in English, we would say I be, you be, he bees, we be, you be, they be. But we don't say that. We say I am, you are, he is, we are, you are, they are. So you can see there's not really a pattern to that. So we have to learn those forms, and we learn what sounds right. And so it really doesn't bother us. And you can learn to do the same thing in French. Okay. Remember, I've got to have my subject pronouns, and in the singular, first person singular, my subject pronoun is je, meaning I. My second person singular, my subject pronoun is tu, meaning you singular, talking to one person. My third person subject pronoun is il, meaning he. And if you want to say she, that's also third person singular. The word is elle. I just use il because it's shorter and it takes up less space than going il/elle. All right. My first person plural form, the we. In French, we say nous. All right. The second person plural form, where I'm saying you, meaning you more than one person, you all, that is vous. And then my third person plural form, in English it's they. In French that's il with an S or elle with an S. Okay? And now here are my verb forms. Okay. Je suis. S-U-I-S, suis. Je suis, I am. I am. Tu, es, es. Tu es. You are. Il, est, also pronounced est. Je suis, tu es, il est. I am, you are, he is. My plural forms, nous sommes, nous sommes, we are. The vous form, the second person plural form, the you all. Vous êtes. Notice the E accent circumflex, which mimics the E accent circumflex up here in the infinitive. Also, see, because we have a final consonant coming together with a vowel. All right? And that means that with this, I get to make a liaison, which means I'm going to pronounce that S as a Z sound so that this flows and goes together so smoothly. And I'm going to say vous êtes. Vous êtes. And then finally, the il plural form is S-O-N-T, sont. Don't pronounce the final T. Sont. They are. So here we have we are, you are, they are. Je suis, tu es, il est. Nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont. I am, you are, he is. We are, you are, they are. Let's try that again. Je suis, I am. Tu es, you are. Il est, he is. Nous sommes, we are. Vous êtes, you are. Ils sont, they are. Okay, notice with this new form, this is the only time in the whole French language where in the present tense the new form will not end with ONS. It's the only time. Otherwise, when you see that new form, it's going to have an ONS ending, but not with this verb. It's different, it's unique. So we'll say nous sommes. All right, so if I want to say je suis, let's say je suis jolie. I am pretty. Well, thank you very much. Je suis jolie. Now, if a lady is saying this about herself, she would have to add that E because, remember, our adjective has to agree with the subject, which in this case is I. But if a woman is saying that, then the I in that case would be female, so we'd have to make it match. How interesting, right? All right, you have to consider those things when you're working with adjectives and the verb être. See? Like if I wanted to say, il est marrant. He is funny. Okay, I have to use that masculine singular form because the subject is masculine singular, il. So likewise, if I used elle and I use the feminine singular, well, my adjective has to be feminine singular. So I'd have to say elle est marrante. All right? And likewise, if I were to say tu es marrante, because I'm using the feminine form here, you would know that I'm talking to a lady because I'm using the feminine form. If I were talking to a guy, I would simply say tu es marrant using the masculine form. So make sure you still have to make those agreements with adjective, even though they're not right next to the noun. It still has to match your subject. Okay? Just thought I'd mention that. Okay? But you can have other sentences like nous sommes nous sommes des élèves. We are some students. Nous sommes des élèves. Elle est le professeur. Excuse me. She is the teacher. Okay? So you see how this verb être works. A very foundational verb because it's used for description. Without the verb être, we would be hard-pressed to be able to make descriptions in either English or in French. So I kind of like to think of it as the queen of French verbs because it is so important and so useful. Well, that's our second irregular verb, être, to be. Je suis, tu es, il est. Nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont. I am, you are, he is. We are, you are, they are. And I am saying goodbye. Au revoir, mes amis. À bientôt.